There's been a lot of talk about the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, about how it's the world's elites getting together and talking and having a talk shop and not really making any decisions. But what many people don't know is that behind the scenes there's an organization that develops a lot of economic research and does a lot of really interesting papers. And one that particularly interests me as an Africa analyst is the inclusive growth paper that was put out earlier this month. And it was discussed, interestingly, yesterday at a forum where, including on the panel, was the finance minister of Rwanda with the finance minister of Canada. So if you think about that, a low-income country in terms of traditional sort of economic analysis to a highly advanced economy, and yet both economies worried about the same kind of issues. And we've seen this throughout the conference, that there's been a big focus on inclusive growth and on how people will become included in a new economy, including the fourth industrial revolution. So the good thing about the paper is that it helps countries, providing them with a framework of the kind of policies that they should be implementing. And interestingly enough, or probably not surprisingly, the first of those is education. So they think that one of the key policy frameworks that countries need to do to enable inclusive growth is to have quality education that's accessible to many people and is equal, independent of whether you're in a rural area, a girl or a boy, etc. So I think it's very helpful for many countries who don't have this kind of research to then be able to pick up and look at the policy frameworks. Other interesting part of the policy frameworks is around the fiscus. So is the tax regime such that it taxes rich people more, obviously? And then do you have some kind of social safety net? And we've seen the basic income debate happen. We, of course, in South Africa have a social security grants, but this is something they're thinking about in Finland, another advanced economy. So these issues are really across the globe, and the World Economic Forum is engendering debate around that, but not only that, helping countries and especially smaller economies build the right framework and move away from the traditional measures that they used to use for determining whether the economy is doing well, like GDP per capita, GDP growth, unemployment levels, and rather look at other factors and other key performance indicators that they can then use to measure how well they're doing, and so not just focus on growth, but focus on inclusive growth, and that should be positive for the world going forward. And from an African context and African investing, we can look at countries with better frameworks for growing their economies and growing their economies inclusively.